Hey guys, how's it going? I'm George. Welcome to the YouTube channel. Welcome to this video. I'm here tonight, or whatever time you're watching, but it's a nice evening here in West Texas. Thank you for the views on the last video. A lot of nice comments. Even if I didn't play the guitar, I talked a little bit about the Gibson Les Paul Classic. If you missed it, check it out. It's one of the last video that I did. And today, I want to talk about the Epiphone version of the Classic, what I like, what I dislike about it, and is it worth. Right now, it is retail $500 and $549, and compared to the Gibson version, which is at this time of recording $24.99, so $2,499. So what is that? It's about almost 5 times more expensive than the Epiphone version. And so I'm not going to play today, but I am going to tell you, based on my experience, what the differences are. But I am going to make a video of me playing them. So you'll get to hear the differences. My theory of YouTube is I think anything can sound good. Anything is manipulated, this and that. And you know, it's compressed by YouTube, the video, the MP4, all that stuff. You know, everything sounds similar. Everything sounds good if you wanted to. So it's almost pointless. Almost, not completely, but almost pointless in doing sound samples. But you know, I got asked, so I'll do it. No problem. But anyways, we're here to talk about the Gibson. I'm sorry, the Epiphone Les Paul Classic. I must say, one of my past videos was the Epiphone Prophecy. And that guitar, while it was cool, it didn't do it for me. It just did not do it. And maybe it does it for others, just not for me. It doesn't feel like a Les Paul. It felt like, kind of like an ESP. Right, the ESP Les Pauls that they have, it felt that way. You know, there's a lot of modifications, and it was longer scale length, different feel on the neck, different feel on the body. Just a very different guitar from Les Pauls. Now, me, I'm kind of a purist. I really like the classic Les Pauls. I was turned on to them maybe 6-7 years ago. I played my first real Gibson, and I absolutely just fell in love with the tone, fell in love with all of it. Okay, the history, it's got such a remarkable history. Maybe Gibsons or Les Pauls aren't for you, but they are for me. So I hope you like them as well, obviously, since you're watching this, right? So let's talk a little bit about this guitar. Starting from the top, going down, the headstock looks cool. You know, Epiphone redid it. They have this, I believe it's called abalone inlay on the brand here, and it's cool. Okay, it looks good. The quality compared to the Gibson one isn't there, but it's just not a big deal. It still looks good. Still looks pretty good. Has that Les Paul model right there, and the Classic, exactly the same as a Gibson. The tuners here are Wilkinson tuners. They're not the Grover tuners that come with the Gibson, but they feel exactly the same. I don't know the difference. I know I have like more Grover tuners on my other guitars, and they're great. But I'm sure these are also great. It's been staying in tune. Sounds really good. Making our way down. One thing I noticed about the Prophecy is the binding here. Some of it was a little off, okay? Not on this guitar. The binding on this guitar is flawless, and it's cheaper. It's quite cheaper than the Prophecy. Excuse me. I'm also gonna reveal 2 things that I don't like about this guitar. One of them as we go down here, are the frets. Now, it's not a deal breaker for me, but I can tell. So like, let's say when you vibrato, the fret isn't as smooth. So there's a little bit of a scratchy sound. There's a little bit of resistance. Excuse me, asthma. There's a little bit of resistance as you vibrato. Very slight. I could feel the scratchiness though. It's nothing too bad. It's like, I'm being nitpicky here. But the Gibson is smooth sailing with the vibrato and everything. It's wonderful. The necks feel exactly the same. It would be hard for me to tell the difference. But again, once I get to the vibrato, I can tell, okay, this is Epiphone versus the Gibson. As we go further down here, we've got the three-way switch. This feels great. It feels just like every Les Paul I have. Excuse me. Some more. Pick guard. Everything here looks exactly the same. I believe the body thickness is just as thick. And even the weight, they're very similar in weight. The Gibson is slightly heavier. Unfortunately, I don't have the exact weight. I didn't weigh them, but I can tell that the Gibson is a little bit heavier, but this is still a thick body. It's still beefy. It feels exactly like a Les Paul. Like I said, it would be hard for me to tell the difference. One other thing that is different are the pickups. These pickups, while they're not bad, they're just not as good as the Gibson burst buckers. I believe that they're called custom buckers. Could be wrong on the Gibson. I know there's some sort of burst bucker related in the family, and these aren't Gibson pickups. They're like Epiphone power pickups, something like that. I'm sorry, guys. But this information is obviously very easy to look up. I'll post the links all down below so you can check that out right away. But these pickups just aren't as good as the other ones. You know, they sound a little cheaper, which just, I mean, it's an easy upgrade. You know what? You spend maybe $200 on a set of really good pickups, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, depending on what you're getting. But nonetheless, they're not terrible. I've played on terrible pickups and like, whoa, that's bad. These, you know, they're okay. And everything else is the same. We got these awesome knobs here, volume and tone knobs. We got the push-pull stuff going on. I mean, such an affordable guitar. But overall, is this worth the $549? Man, I would say yeah. You know, if you're looking to step into the Gibson Les Paul world for $550, man, Epiphone really did a great job with this guitar. I am super impressed. I couldn't recommend it more. The heel feels great. This is spot on compared to the Epiphone Prophecy, in my opinion. This guitar just totally annihilates the Prophecy. I think the Epiphone Prophecy is expensive because it has the locking tuners and it has the Fishman Fluence pickups, which they were good pickups, just not really my thing. You know, not really my thing. I would have rather have had these pickups and upgraded rather than had the Fishman Fluence and then tried to upgrade there. Because they're actives, they probably have a certain, you know, wiring diagram or whatnot, whatever, you know. I didn't really open it up to check it out, but I would imagine upgrading these pickups is easier than swapping out the Epiphone Prophecies pickups. But could be wrong. Could be wrong. Overall, guys, I can't recommend this thing enough. I mean, the binding, I went through it all. It is straight. It is well made. Look at that. $549. $49. Even the pickups are cool. Like, I mean, the zebra style pickups, it matches this guitar so well. You know, I mean, if you even put like the Gibson pickups in there, they're probably a little bit more expensive, but I mean, man, why not? And then maybe there's a way to clean up the fretwork here, like clean up that scratchiness. I don't know. I don't do guitar work in that sense, but I'm sure maybe you can do that. Man, you have a pretty much Gibson quality guitar here. So the only thing making it not $2,500 is pretty much the name, you know. Back here it does say handcrafted in China. You know, if that's a really big thing for you. Luckily for me, I do get provided these guitars. Zound sent me that Gibson, and I am keeping that. I'm not letting her go. She's one of my favorite guitars now. This is definitely something really cool, guys. Check this out. If you want to hear sound samples, at this point I'm just rambling, but if you want to hear sound samples, what I'll do is I'll probably do a comparison of sound samples between the Gibson Les Paul Classic and the Epiphone Les Paul Classic. If you want that, shoot me a comment, shoot me a like, hit a subscribe. Check out our partners over at Zounds.com. They very graciously sent me this beauty and the other beauty, and along with a lot of my other cool Les Pauls. So hit them up, check them out, give them some support. Anyways, guys, thank you for checking out the video. I'll see you when I see you next. Peace.